Hi everybody! Today we're going to see how I draw Iris. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpies. So if you want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. Okay, so yeah, still request week. I'm still working on more requests. And don't worry if yours isn't in. I'll get to them all eventually. But it's a big list. I get a lot of requests, and I appreciate that. And because I'm so appreciative, I want to do them all. But again, there's a lot. So, bear with me. And I'll get to them. Just, give me some time. Give me some time. For now, we're going to be doing these. And for now, I am just getting the pose down. This one should be fairly simple because, I get it. Everybody has their favorite characters of what they want to do. But to me, this one's so simple. It's like, she's not wearing much. She's wearing a sweater. Again, I'm so happy I'm drawing stuff that everybody likes, so I'm not complaining. But, there's nothing that I need to really be too over detailed about, like armor or weapons or Cheetos or spaghetti, stuff like that. It's all pretty simple, so it should be fairly easy. I'm trying to get a little creative, to have a little fun with it. Okay, so like I'm gonna have her, I think I'm gonna put that foot a little bit lower. I'm gonna have her kind of throwing up the peace signs, doing a little funny little pose. Silly stance, I guess, is basically what it is. That's how I'm looking at it. Okay, and I'm also kind of rocking her on her heels. I guess that's kind of where I'm going with this one. I'm kind of playing around with the fact that we can go crazy. We because there's not a lot to do armor or weapons wise, like I was saying, I'm kind of making a silly pose. Well, not a silly pose. I call it a silly pose because she's just throwing up the little peace signs. It's just not something we normally do. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. She's in more of a fun position. Awesome. Okay, and again, all I'm really doing is drawing anatomy here, so let me just get this down. And then we'll get started. So, let's see. Alright, that leg seems a little short. Let's extend it out a little bit since we got time. I'm pretty much there with the pose. So I can spend a little more time working on the placement. Okay, so I'm actually gonna raise that up a little bit, bring that down, that'll be there. Yeah, that looks about right. What's funny is I think that's the same thing. I didn't really extend it out that much. But I just changed the positioning of some of the muscles, the musculature, and it made more sense. And, sometimes that's all it takes. You just, something looks off, you just redraw it, and when you get it right, it's almost like you didn't really have to do much. It was there, But also, again, that's why you learn your anatomy. You figure out how to draw this stuff. So you can put them in these crazy poses for no reason. Okay, so I've got her hands up. She's dropping the piece. So that means her shoulders are going to be up a little bit. Okay, let's see. So Okay, so I guess this is where I'm going to take my time with the hands, because I got to get her throwing the peace signs. So if I got her hand up like this, I'm going to draw the actual this part, and that'll kind of help guide me to where I'm going to go. Let's see. It looks about right. There you go. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let me do the other one over here too. This one's not as raised as much, but it's still causing a little bit of shoulder rise. Okay, so same thing. I gotta do the actual size of the hand, and I can add bends afterwards. All right, I think that'll work. Okay, so let me draw a face. And so since I've got her head kind of turned, a little tilted. I just gotta get that in. And also gotta make sure I get the hood, right? I mean, that's kind of the whole point. So this part of the hood, I'm gonna kind of hang over this way a little bit, considering she's kind of tilted. You know, the bottom of it kind of flows out, kind of like Darth Vader with the ends hanging out, but because she's tilted, I'm going to turn this portion in just a little bit. And also that means her hair is going to be kind of over a little too, so I'm going to flick a little bit like that, and then the rest will be in that way. So let's see. There's one eye there. Going to cover more of the nose than expected, but again, that's okay because you know, the hair is kind of being its own self. Okay, I think that's going to work. Yeah. I think we're ready because all the color is going to take care of the sweater. So all I got to do is erase and get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly erase because I'm going to work with Sharpies now. And if you're working with pencil, you just keep going. I don't need them for the Sharpies. I don't want the pencil to stand out. I want the Sharpie to stand out. And so what I'm doing is I'm erasing the sketch lines. And as I got more confident, my darker lines, or the confidence lines, got a little darker and heavier and pushed down harder, and those are harder to erase. So if I hit it lightly, I'm erasing the light lines. The sketch lines is what I like to say. You work with your confidence, not with your sketch. All right, I'm ready to go. I say we welcome everybody that skipped. Welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I do, wait, right there. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I do a different drawing every day. You can join along and have some fun. I'm going to be using the Sharpie fine point and the Sharpie pen, mostly the fine point, but the pen's a little finer than the fine point. You can find things that the fine point can't quite find. Sketch the entire thing out. I've erased the sketch lines and I've left just a ghost of an image that I can use to trace over. I've got her throwing the peace signs, tilted over in a fun, silly little position. So I'm going to start with the Sharpie pen to control the line widths a little bit more. And I got her head tilted, so I'm going to draw her eye like this off to the side. So see, her head's tilted a little bit. And that's all we got to worry about because her hair and everything else is kind of hanging over it, right? So I'm going to draw a round iris like that. I'm going to give it a little bit of a pupil like this. I can't go too far because these Sharpies will bleed at this tiny of a size. So I'm going to build on this. What I like to do is just come in just a little bit, just to imply the bottom of the eye, and no more with my Sharpie because it'll start to bleed. But I am going to give her kind of a cat eye eyeliner to give her, you know, pretty girl eyelashes. And that's about it. I can't go any further with this because it's going to start to bleed. So before I do anything else, I'm going to start on the hair. Now the hair, I'm not going to do all the hair all the way up. I'm going to start right here, then I'll continue up because I need to define some edges and then I can work with where I am. So maybe. Yeah. So I'm going to draw the hair kind of over like this. And it curls this way, but because I have her head tilted, I'm curving it the other way. And then I'm going to tilt up a little bit to kind of accent the way her hair is tilted, her head is tilted, you know? And I'm not going to draw a lot of these lines. I want to. I try not to because it's fun, but I need color to take care of it, not so much the Sharpie. Okay, so let's see. Let's draw. You know, I got to do it. I was trying to avoid drawing the edge, but we got to do it or we're not going to know where we are. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the edge of the hood like this. Bring it into where I want to connect it. And I've got it hanging off to the side just a little bit more. So that means I've got the other edge like this. Okay, so I was going to have them both flared out, but because this one's kind of hanging over, gravity is pulling it this way. So that's going to kind of determine a lot of where the positioning is going to be. So let's build off of this. So basically, if I have her nose right here, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to draw a nostril like this. I'll draw a little bit of the edge like that, but that's all I want to do because that's all I can do. You know, there's so much hair covering it, there's not else I could do. So let me draw her mouth. And remember, I've got her head tilted, so her mouth's going to be like this. I'm going to draw a little bit of a top lip and a little bit of a bottom lip. There we go. And so that means also her chin is going to be here. And I'm going to build it up like this. See, her neck's going to be kind of like this. Okay, and also I'm going to start to thicken this up a little bit too, just to start to match what's going to happen with the big Sharpie, because that's super big. So let me draw, see, now that I have that edge, I can go all the way to the top like that. Let me draw this piece of hair out. Like I said, normally it's pointed more into her face, but because of the way I have her head tilted, I'm going to go ahead and draw like gravity is controlling it. Okay. Let's see. So let's draw some more wisps like that, and a couple more like this. And again, that's her neck right there. So that's all we're gonna see of that. Okay. And and you know what? Now that I have some defining edges, I can give her an eyebrow. Just kind of do like that. Nice and simple. We're not going to go too crazy because that's all we can see, you know? Okay, so I'm going to draw some hair like that. Now I'm starting to play around with what's left, what we can see, and what's visible, okay? Okay, so I'm just going to pretty much do something like that. Then the rest of her neck is going to come down this way, like that. Alright, so now we've got the edge. Let's draw the edge of the hood here. It's got a little singular string that goes all the way around, like that. And I'm going to draw... You know what, I was going to draw the edge of it, but I should move on to the other Sharpie now. So what I'm going to do real quick is, just for mine, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. I'm going to start to thicken up some of this edge. just to match this Sharpie that's about to be used. And like I said, I know what's going to happen. I've done a bunch of these, so that's why I am preparing for the look. I'm just going to thicken it up just a little bit. Alright, there we go. So, moving on to the big Sharpie. And I'll come back with the small Sharpie and add some smaller details, but for now, I just wanted to use this to define a few of the edges. Okay, so I've got her head about, let's see, if this is the edge, we're going to come in here like this. We'll do that one like that too. I'll follow the edge there. It's going to go over her head, back to the back, down and back into it like that. And that's just kind of, like I said, because a lot of it's falling over, that's why it's kind of falling over her face right there. So, again, it's just a sweater. Well, again, unless you were listening during the sketch part, you don't know why I'm saying again. But it's just a sweater, so all we're doing is basically drawing cloth. Her body's kind of tilted, so this shoulder's up a little bit. I'm going to draw a few bumps for the creases and folds because all that material is being bent. I'm going to draw the sleeve, and the sleeves are kind of bell-bottomed out, so there's a big angle right there. So we're going to come in and then out a little bit because that's where it's hanging down, again, due to gravity. Okay, so I'm going to draw the other side, like that. Let's go ahead and just draw all the way down. Let's finish up this side of the sweater. Right, like that. There's her hip into the edge of the sweater, like that. We won't worry about the bottom half. We'll come back and add to that in a second. Now, like I always say, creases and folds make it come alive. So I'm just going to add a few just to show that she's bending that sweater up by pulling it like that. Not good for your sweater. There you go. I'm just adding some creases and folds, again, just to show that it's cloth, that it's got bends. All right, so she's throwing peace signs, I guess like this. So we're going to just draw the hands. We're going to come in here, draw this side of the hand, and the thumb's bent in, so it's tucked in like that. So that's the other side right there. And the thumb's tucked in and over. And I'm going to add some more detail in a second. I'm just giving you the basics, following my sketch so you see where we are. And then I'm going to come back and clean it up or make it look pretty. Alright, so there's this middle finger sticking up like that. And I'm pretty much, again, just following my sketch. So I'm not just drawing willy or nilly. This is completely planned. I mean, even though it doesn't look like it, that's kind of a little over to the side, a little much, right? Okay, so I'm going to draw some knuckle bends like that just to show where the edges are, and draw some creases because the hand's all bent in. Like that. It could have been doing a little bit better. It's off a little bit, but that's okay. That is okay. You get the point, right? You clean this up a little bit. I think that's what it is. It came out really thick on certain parts. There you go. That's not too bad. I can live with that. Alright. So a lot of lines for the hands, but you get the point across. Alright, so we're doing the same thing over here. The exact same thing, just at a different angle. So I'm going to draw some bumps. Right there at the crook of the arm, up to the elbow. And remember, the sleeve's hanging this way because of gravity. So it's going to be out further that way. Coming in to the elbow like that. There's the armpit. There's the inside of the sweater. Let's go ahead and finish it. It's got a little elastic part at the bottom. And so now we're going to do the hand. And this hand is tilted a little bit, so we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to draw the digits. Then I'll come back and add some detail. Alright. So again, we'll clean it up. Don't worry, we'll clean it up. Okay. Now just kind of where the fingers bend, you know, something like that. All right, so let's add a few little creases and folds just because that's where the bend is. Like here, it's straight across. There's not really any creases here because she's bent over. The material is being bent, so we're adding some stress. And you don't have to do the exact same ones I'm doing. I'm just showing you a little bit of a way to have fun with it. All right. So now we're just going to draw shorts and legs. There's not much to it, so they're pretty skin tight. So I'm going to go ahead and come down, add a little bump just to where they are. Same thing over here, just kind of a little bump to accent that that's where they are. And I'm just going to draw anatomy now. So there's the thigh, the knee, shin to the shoe. And let's do the other side too. So let's see, her crotch is going to be right here. There's the other leg. Again, a little bit of a bump. You'll see why in a second. Then there's the inner thigh to the back of the leg, the calf to the shoe. Okay, and yeah, I'll show you now before we get too far. So basically, I was just kind of accenting just a little bit. I'm going to come back with the smaller Sharpie and highlight that edge right there, and just kind of, adding a little bit of design is what we're doing. You don't have to go that big. You don't have to do it at all. I was just doing it just to show a little bit of there's actually something there. It's not just painted flesh, So same thing, bump it in just a little bit. We'll do the top side so you can see where we are. So we're going to do the thigh again to the knee, the shin to the boot. Here again, the inner thigh to the back of the knee, calf to the boot, well, the ankle basically. Let's see again, just going to thinly come across. Let's add a little bit of a bump for a knee, just because we know it's there. All right, so now we're just drawing the boots. And the boots are going to be pretty simple. We're just going to up like that a little bit. Puff it out a little bit because it's got a very unique puffy top. And let's see, we're going to come over here. Come down like that. Are we still on camera? Yeah, okay, just had to double check. Barely, right? Okay. And I'll add some detail to that in a second. We're just going to do the same thing over here. It's kind of a big tongue, puffy edge to the heel. Oops. Something like that. There we go. Okay, again, let me add just a little bit of detail, make it a little bit fun. And let's see, let's do some laces. We're just going to do just a couple over like that. Just adding a little bit of detail, a little bit of fun. We'll go ahead and add just a little bit of a sole with a smaller Sharpie, just to, again, accent. It's all about accenting each other. Okay, so same thing. I'm just gonna, laces. And then a little bit of a sole. That. Not much else I can do on that side, so there you go. I say we take care of the rest with color. So that is Iris from Fortnite. So here's my colored version. You can color it however you like. I just thought I'd show you how I decided to color it. If you'd like to color it like this, you can always pause the video here and use the coloring techniques that I used, or you can just make it your own. Remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and we'll meet somewhere in between. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures with how I draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button for new videos.